guys, welcome back. So it is a big night. Yeah, it's dark. It was supposed to be a big day, but we have two vehicles dropping off right now that you guys actually know, and I'm so excited because they're coming home. I bought them. Technically their home was California, but now their home is Arkansas. Just wait, it's so exciting. Let's go. All right, so as you guys know, you've probably seen other posts, MotorTrend done. The shows are done, so they sold cars off. There'll still be a new season of Hot Rod Garage come out, but as soon as I found out that we weren't gonna be renewed, I asked, can I buy some cars? And of course, that's everybody's question was, can they buy some of the cars? And there was two very specific ones that were on my list. You guys will probably guess them. And then there was a third one that I'll tell you about in a minute that is not on the truck, but we'll be getting it. So I officially am adding 3 more cars to my fleet in addition to the sedan. So this driver just came from California. This is my ex-show producer, David, now just my friend, David Silberman, and his brother, Josh. This is also one of their vehicles that's coming here because Dad's going to be doing some work on it. But anyways, I gotta go talk to him. He's just drove, and we're excited to get him off because it's freezing here, and all I can hope is that they have some peak antifreeze in them and that they have not got cracked blocks, because that is not something we thought about as they left California. Anyways, I'm so excited. So you guys have to wait just a second because David and Josh's car is coming off. You're gonna be doing a project for David and Josh here, right?
Is that running or is he quit?
Yeah, no, it's running.
Yeah, you can go all the way straight back if you don't care.
All right, so now that one obviously isn't the big surprise. That was just, sorry guys, Josh, David, that was just to get that here for Dad's project with them and to split some transport costs, which worked out great for all of us. But I'm looking at the two that I'm so excited about. These two, these are special. I'll go get them. I'll go get the first one. Okay, do you want to see? You want to see a sneak peek?
Pretty exciting. It looks really good sitting there, doesn't it?
I know, I haven't told them what they are yet, but they're gonna know by now.
Tell.
They're gonna know by now. You guys might know the front one, but the back one, you for sure know. And guess what? They're not temporarily here. The Savoy was here earlier this year. He has already been here. Dad worked on him, but now he's home.
So I did all that work for MotorTrend. Guess what? You get it. You're welcome.
Thanks.
How good the 32 looks.
I know, it looks so good.
Trying to go back west and see how it'll go. So you can start. If it can be started, it may have a dead battery. We don't know. Yeah.
If it has to be pushed, that's okay. I think it's got a low tire, but it'll be okay.
You need me to.
Put your hand over the carburetors.
Yeah, you need me to do
Choke
that?
it.
And when I make turn, just go lightly, don't turn fast.
so awesome.
It does not sound like a flathead at all.
The Chop Master.
Yeah. It don't sound like a flathead.
Yeah,
Babba-ja.
that's why I don't want a flathead in the 34, because that flathead is rough. All right, now for the one you guys have been waiting for. I've seen people wondering, and forever people haven't known who actually owned the car. But MotorTrend owned the car, and obviously when everything started to come up for sale, this car is really important to us. And so it's one of those that I was like, I can't imagine anyone else owning it, but I also couldn't imagine me getting to purchase it. So say what you want about MotorTrend, but the guys over at the studio, they're awesome for the fact that, like, for a lot of facts, I loved working with them, but I told them, I was like, guys, these are two cars that are really important to me. And they knew that. The Savoy is really important. The Roadster is really important. And I told them, I was like, this is something that, you know, when I first heard, I was like, can I buy them? Now, I can't believe I'm actually getting to buy it. Not getting to, it's done.
Yeah,
the paperwork.
It's here.
The paperwork is signed. The car is here. The money has been sent. But wait, there's gonna be one more.
It's so much cooler seeing you back that car up, knowing that you own it.
I know, right? It's a freaking
You're
cool
the only one in
flathead.
the world that knows how to drive that thing.
I'm the only one that fits. No, I called it a flathead. Freaking cool flathead. But
There's not enough door up there, is there?
anyways. Hi, buddy.
This is gonna be tough. You may.
I can do it. I can do it. You want me to do it?
Yeah, I can't get down in there.
Okay.
Let me hold your camera. It's so the valve stems are so far up in
We need
there.
a little bit more hose. Do we have any more hose?
Yeah, I'll go open the front door and run it through.
How about that? Will that reach? I just pulled a little extra.
Savoy is kind of funny because.
Fender's about to fall off of it.
Is it?
Literally.
Well, we'll have to fix that.
We gotta be careful with that one.
But it's kind of funny because the Savoy was actually spent most of its year here. So it went back for like a couple months. And then now it's back.
home. This is home from here on. But you might have to get his hose.
Nick's got it. And the Savoy's like, guys, I don't know why I'm traveling so much, but I'd like to stay.
Hey, Nick. Let it roll back first and then.
Yeah, we'll get it about halfway. That way, if he needs to spray, he'll have more room to open the hood. Yeah, you're good. Turn over to the left.
Yeah, the back's coming over to the right a little far.
Yeah. Turn a little more. Okay.
You're good, Alex. It's gonna be cold natured. Give it a hard shove.
I'll start.
All right. Put the battery charger on it.
So it's kind of funny. It's weird because this is a big deal. Like, it is a big deal that I now own this. But it was here for so long this year, it doesn't seem like anything different. But now it's actually here because it's mine.
Oh, well, that didn't work so good. Where's that? Is there a jump box over there? There's one in my back of my old truck out there. There's not.
right, so they're here. The Savoy it's officially an Arkansas car, and so is the Roadster. So eventually these two will go over to my shop because that shop is rather crowded, but they wanted to hang out, get to know their new people around, and the Savoy is familiar with this location because, like I said, it was here for, I don't know, 6 months, because originally the plan was, well, one, MotorTrend network. Well, I guess the network is still there, but the studios weren't closing, so the shows were going to continue on. Hopefully, we were always up for renewal, but you know, like, no one had any indication that was happening, or we didn't anyways. And so Savoy came here. It got an 850 cert chassis. You can see right here. Dad did all kinds of nice work to it. You got the suspension upgraded, you got the wishbone in the back, and like, the car was ready so we could put a twin turbo Hemi in it, or a supercharged Hemi. We'd kind of gone back and forth on both, but then, like, obviously things didn't go as maybe planned, so it had all this work and it went back to California, and the only thing it got to do was a bracket race. So it did HRG Day. It went out for that. Nick might remember, maybe. Do you remember HRG Day? When I was leaving, I went to Brett and Levi, and I said, well, maybe next year I can get it to run an 8. I think I called you and told you that, and I told you that. I don't know if you guys remember. He has the memory of a potato.
All I remember is you saying this could be the last time I ever see the Savoy.
That was what I said. That's where I was getting to. Because I was like, I went up to them and I was like, which I love those two guys, but they're great. But I was like, oh, maybe next year I can run an 8. And we didn't know the show was canceled at that point. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, that might not ever happen.
And the bad thing was that we honestly thought, who's going to end up with the car?
Well, think of Project X. That's what we've always said. Think of Project X. It went around, it traded hands, got lost somewhere along the way. Someone owned it. So it's like, what's going to happen with this guy?
Yeah, he could have disappeared forever, or went to the hands of some stiff shirt collector guy from Hollyweird that
which there's other people. I mean, I don't want anyone else to have this, but there's other people at the studio that, like, I like. They wouldn't have hurt my feelings so much, but it didn't mean that we didn't even know if it was going to stay within studio. Like,
were any of those people actual collectors? Would they have kept it?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if there was people within our close MotorTrend studio, it wouldn't have bugged me quite as much. It would have still really bugged me, but it could have technically, I guess, gone to, I mean, Warner Brothers owns it. It could have gone to probably...
It could have went on, what do you call it, eBay or whatever.
It could have gone anywhere is our point.
Yeah.
So when we found out I guess what I'm saying is the last day that I drove it was right after it had all the work done, and I didn't get to run an 8 because David forgot to bring nitrous.
Yeah.
So by
930s with no spray.
930s, no spray, and so that's what I ended up dialing. But I was like, oh, this is for sure an 8 second. Like, it's felt really good finally, and I was like, I remember starting it. It was dark. I was at Bakersfield. I was pulling it in, and I was like, just sat there for a second. I'm like, this may be the last time I ever drive the Savoy. It was really kind of sad, but now I own it.
They're safe and sound.
Yep, they're home.
They're not going anywhere now. And the Roadster is really exciting because I got to take it to El Mirage. We took it out with the show, but we went on the weekend that the event got canceled. But that was it. We never got to put it to the test. Numbers on this. So, backstory for those that don't know, because if you didn't watch Hot Rod Garage, you might not know. But this is 32 Roadster. So, actually found that on Sick Week of last year. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Because I was...
yeah, I kind of do remember that. You had multiples to choose from.
Yeah, I was having to stay on my phone more than I should have, but we were trying to get this project. So when I first came to Hot Rod Garage, they kept asking, what car do you want to do? And I told them, I was like, land speed, because up to that point, I'd not done land speed. I hadn't been to Bonneville. And so I was like, I want to build a land speed car. Well, it just so happened that not this past year, but the year before was the 75th anniversary of Hot Rod magazine. And so the first issue of Hot Rod had a 27T, which was closer to Ed's car, on the cover of it. But Hot Rod magazine originally covered like dry lakes racing, like El Mirage and Muroc and stuff like that.
So when we first talked about it, you and I, without the show, we actually talked about maybe finding a 27 and recreating it for the 75th.
Yeah.
But there was nothing on the timeline that would work, and you found this one.
Yeah, so the show had tried, like, kind of the process with the show was that they would try to find cars, or we could try to find them, whatever, but they had sent me, I remember, a list that they had compiled of 27 T's, but none of them were at the point of kind of race car. And we learned with the Savoy that gotta have more time, or else you gotta start at a more finished base. So everything they sent was very rough, and with the rules there, SCTA is very strict, and it was daunting because like we weren't familiar with it. So I think I put out a post is what I did, maybe. I think is what I did.
So.
Put out a post looking for land speed vehicles, kind of this, that were, I don't know, semi-ready. And this one popped up. Happened to see it. We were on sick week, and I was like, that's a good looking car. I remember texting him, you gotta buy this.
Yeah.
Buy this.
No motor, no transmission.
No.
Didn't even have the wheels and tires on it.
No, before this it had a small block in it. It had been like standing mile racing, stuff like that a couple times. And it was not the car that you see. It was very nice. It had the cage. Had a lot of
hard work done.
Yeah, had a lot of the hard work done. But
Had the stop sign.
did have the stop sign, but it had a lot of stuff that had to be updated, like just panels and foam and fire suppression and stuff to make it pass SCTA tech.
Can we go standing mile racing?
We could.
When is that?
I don't know. Nick,
Like
do you know when it is?
Arkansas.
Do you know when that is?
I think there's one in May, April or May.
There's one like either happening or just happened at Arkansas.
Huh. It's coming up too. We could. It could do that.
It's ready.
Yeah. We should
need
do
to
that.
Find out when that's at, when it is, because it may be like next weekend. We
What's
could go
the,
racing.
what's the push vehicle?
Huh?
What's the push vehicle?
Your clutch.
I don't
Okay.
think For mile racing, you don't have a push vehicle.
It doesn't need a push
You
vehicle.
don't use half of the track pushing it.
This guy takes off really quick.
Nick and I'll push you.
Okay.
We'll just stand there and...
Anytime we used a push vehicle, I'm like, I just drove it over to the starting line. I actually don't need it, I guess.
I would really like to have that behind it.
That would be cool.
Even if you don't push it, I could pretend I'm pushing it.
You
Okay.
got those fancy bumper
I know,
mounts. You
we
can
could-
make it slide out. And
That
the full
actually
subframe.
would be
It'd
cool.
So cool.
That would be cool.
I was already thinking of that.
That would be cool.
May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which is the same time you're at Radford Racing.
But there'll be another one.
Yeah, but who wants to wait?
Well, I'm not.
I want to go racing.
He'd actually load up right now if he could.
Apparently.
We're awake. I mean, what is it? It's 12:30.
12:30 a.m. But so one more thing, and you guys will hear more stories about this. But the number on the car. So that's an actual SCTA number. Like, it's not just a made up number. It's a registered number. One of the things we were trying really hard. Like, I'll give the show credit. And I have to give the show credit because I don't want everybody just bashing the show, because realistically, like, my show crew and our studio crew was great. Like,
Awesome.
they're awesome, so don't bash them. The fact that it got sold is outside of that. The 3275, so anyways, where I was going with that is we really did try really, really hard to get it out to an event. Like, they went as far as Nick was there. He saw, like, they were the most prepared for El Mirage that they've ever been for anything. And then El Mirage got canceled. But they had a motor home rented. They were ready. They had a pit set up. We were so ready, but it got canceled. Anyway, so the number I had to call and get a registered number so we could get the graphics for it. And I had talked to Dad, trying to kind of come up with a number. We went through so many Morse code numbers, like different
Somebody
meanings.
put that one on crooked.
It wasn't us.
What is it, my ATD or
OCD.
ACD or something, ACDC? Something is going,
ADT.
my ADT is going off because that number's crooked.
Well, that wasn't us, actually.
So when it got canceled, incidentally, it wasn't because of rain, which it usually is. It was because of heat.
It's because it was hot. And then we got out there and it wasn't that hot.
Yeah,
But it,
right. We still went out there for some dumb reason.
We
It was
race
so
in the
hot.
hot all the time.
we
Different hot.
It was, but they canceled it. Anyways, back to this real quick. I'll wrap that up. 3275 is because it's a 32, and it was for the 75th year because the car was built in like celebration of the 75th year of Hot Rod magazine, which is also why they actually let us put Hot Rod Special on the back of this.
Incidentally, if it makes you feel better, whoever put those stickers on leveled them with the ground. It
Okay.
decides the same way.
Glad to know.
At least they were consistent.
They probably got a level out. Level the sticker. It's like, wait, the car's going downhill.
Oh man. Okay, well we'll have to fix that. Anyways, excited to have this. Excited to have that. And then we're going on a road trip, boys.
For one more.
For one more. So, the other thing that I got, let me flip this around. So the other vehicle that I got is, drum roll please. I bought a 70.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
That was my point. I bought a 72 Nova from the show. So, it's actually really cool. Again, the show letting have a ton of input. They're like, what do you want the new car to be? Well, you guys remember Bone Marrow, and it was very much the slow
Tony.
version. It was Tony's car, but it was one of those, like, it was, when it was built, which was years ago, it was always kind of slow for what it was because it was done on a budget. So I was like, we need an updated version of that for mine and Lucky's time on there. That was a little bit more like, think drag and drive car. Because that makes sense, right? Kind of fitting.
That's what you did, right? You were kind of making a dragon drive.
Well, that was the goal until we got canceled. So they let us buy they're like, what do you want to do? I can't get everybody in. I'm really struggling here.
That's okay.
So they let us pick what we wanted to do. I've been telling them we should do this like drag and drive style car because like that makes sense. And anyways, they had a couple things found, and we settled on this 72 Nova, and it was actually a pretty nice car.
I haven't seen it yet,
You haven't seen it yet.
but I've seen pictures. It looks pretty nice from what I can see.
You saw it. Nice car.
Yeah, it's a very nice car.
Yeah. So we got it. It was a project car that was in decent condition. Didn't have a transmission. We named it Lease Money. You guys haven't seen it yet because, well, the show hasn't aired, but you'll see it when the new season airs. And the goal was that we were going to build it over the course of multiple episodes and make it a drag and drive style, like 850 type car, like LS, something we could drive to the track, race it, drive it home. Your standard, basically, race car at this point in time. Would have been cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it had a small block in it. We were just progressively making changes to it. Mini tubbed it. It's got a really nice Gearstar Turbo 400 in it. And then that's as far as we got. We took it to HRG Day. But we named it Lease Money because, if you guys remember, we also lost the shop. And when we lost the shop, we got to buy a car.
Red flag number one.
But they let us buy a car, so we were working in this like tiny, dingy little dark corner, but we had a really nice car. So we're like, we're gonna call this Lease Money because we used all of our money that was supposed to go to rent to buy this car.
See, you're the one that killed the show. They went bankrupt because of you.
What do they say about short, dark-haired women that with the letter name A that starts their name?
I know where you're going
Ruin
with
your
this.
life. Or they were sent by the devil themselves or something like that. You sent me the video.
There's a meme, and it says that when the devil can't reach you, they send a short, dark-haired girl with the first letter of her name being A to reach you. That's me. Anyways, so Lease Money, which it'll probably be renamed because we actually painted it blue. So we should have painted it green to match the name, but we painted it blue. And we're going to do a road trip.
We are.
I'll flip this back around now. Interrogation
Call a
style.
tow truck.
So, call a tow truck. You got a flat?
'Cause he's got- it's on
I
his
had a
toes.
blowout in my flip flop. I stepped on a pop top.
It's a problem.
Some of them will know what that is.
Okay, you guys let
Do
me
you know
know.
what that is?
It's a song.
Crop top.
Pop top.
Stepped on a pop top in my crop top.
It's getting weird. Okay, anyways, so road trip. So the Nova is out there. Dad's brother, Larry, he's picking it up whenever monsoon rains. Apparently California's getting monsoon rains right now. So he's going to pick it up. It's going to his house. But he also has another car sitting out there.
Mr. Marrow.
Mr. Marrow.
Alex's daily.
It was my daily out there. It's technically Nick's car, but he brought it out, and I left it at MotorTrend, and I had something other than a GMC Terrain to drive, because that was lame. Sorry, David.
The only thing that had more problems than the terrain was the Camaro.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm not going to say the Camaro didn't make me mad half the time that I drove it, but it was cool.
Make the doors, windows roll up.
Yeah, so I actually, Nick's Camaro, it's a nice car.
Power windows.
Power windows. They left me stranded in the car wash so many times because I would roll the window down, pay with my card. I would trust that it was going to roll back up because it was working. And then I'd get through the gates. It would lock me inside, and then the window wouldn't roll up. So anyways,
It would have been funny if you had to go through there.
I know, I thought I was going to have to. I was always able to, like, finagle it up. But one time, I drove it, and I rolled the window all the way down. I actually was leaving the shop really late. David and I were leaving. He rolls up beside me in his Corvette, his dad Corvette. Acts like he's going to race me. So I roll the window down. I'm like, this thing doesn't have it. And I went to roll my window back up. And that was the end of that. So I come in the next day. I'm all stressed because I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to get the window fixed? I got too much to do. Lucky's like, I got a trick. You just go hammer on the door panel. I'm like, okay, bud.
It works.
It works.
She used that trick at Sick Week on the other
I
Camaro.
did.
Yeah.
I did. You like open the door and hammer on the door panel and roll up the window. He used his meat claws. He's like, hit the switch. So he's over there, meat claw, knocking the door, pulling the window up. Anyways, long story short, Mr. Marrow is a
Long story long.
long story long. Mr. Marrow is a jerk. But long story long. You were supposed to be over here.
I'm looking at parts. I did my job.
He's gonna road trip too.
We're road tripping. So
Road tripping.
Mr. Marrow is currently stored at Larry's as well, and the Nova's gonna be at Larry's. Dad has half of a bike that he's gonna pick up.
I hope I get to pick that up.
Strap it to the top of the Nova.
It's going to be in the trunk. So I'm going to put a Honda 754 in the trunk of the Nova. Can you believe that? But it's in like 1,000 pieces, so it might fit. You may have some in the Camaro too. I don't know where luggage is going.
So anyways,
Or
we're
tools.
going in like March sometime, and we're gonna pick up Mr. Marrow and the Nova, and we're gonna road trip them from California to Arkansas. How do you guys think that's gonna go?
Hopefully,
Probably dramatically.
yeah. Hopefully you fixed all the problems.
I haven't touched it.
So when you told those guys out there, they said, "You're going to drive this thing?" They didn't seem. You couldn't even make it from L.A. to Bakersfield in it.
No, it was closer than that. I couldn't make it from LA to Irwindale.
Couldn't even make it from L.A. to Irwindale. It broke on the freeway, and you had to replace rocker arm studs. What are we going to do if it breaks in Arizona?
We're gonna find stuff to replace it.
Oh boy.
Mr. Marrow's gonna be towing
My
the
Camaro
Nova.
overheated every time she drove it. She never decided to fix the overheating issue. So.
I never had time. I fixed the brakes. Nick gave me a car without brakes. I almost died.
They worked until you started driving it.
So what's the overheating problem? Radiator?
No,
Or
I think
thermostat.
or fan. Larry said, "You're gonna drive this?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "It only runs sometimes." And I was like, "No, you just gotta like when you start it once in a while, you just gotta put the foot all the way to the floor, and then the carburetor will eventually catch up."
Electronic carburetor, mechanical thing on it.
So it's not going to be a smooth trip, I can tell you that. It's going to be very drag week. But the bad part is we're not going to have any tools. And you realize there's sections in there where there's no stores for like 3,000 miles.
We'll go buy tools.
Remember there was no stores. So.
We're gonna buy them before we leave. We're gonna be in
Where are
California.
they gonna go? I got a 750 in the trunk.
The back seat.
There's gonna be suitcases,
Pack light.
and that's where I'm gonna be laying. Is Meg going? She's
Yeah.
gonna be in the back seat.
Well, she's got Nick's Camaro too.
Well, Moo's going with me. I'm not riding with Meg that long.
Meg's going with you?
I was gonna bring somebody. I wasn't gonna drive by myself.
He's like attached at the hip.
That's Mom right now. Not Moo.
I'm just standing by.
Okay, I got
Okay.
a better idea. I'll
Yeah.
stay here, and you and Moo and Meg can go, and Nick.
That's a terrible idea.
That's a good idea.
Why? How did we get here? We have plenty of seats.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways, I'm also trying to convince David, who is the, I think, co-owner of this, to follow along because he's moving from California to Florida. So I'm trying to get him to
With
follow.
the trailer.
No. With the car. Anyways, long story, long. 72 Nova, like Dad's, is coming here. Got the Savoy, got the Roadster. Just bought the 34. I have greatly extended my collection in the last week.
Doubled it.
More than doubled it, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's about doubled. You're
Got a lot of
quiet
cars.
over here.
I'm ready to go to bed.
What are you thinking about?
I'm looking at this compared to the 34 back there.
What do you think?
It's exactly the same stuff, except it's hairpin instead of 4-link. Which, did you see that picture of that 34 sedan I sent you?
I saw it when I just picked my phone
High
up,
boy.
but I hadn't got to study
Makes me
it.
want to go high boy.
That's what I said
We
originally.
got to do something really quick, so I stopped changing my mind.
That's fair. Okay. All right, I have a crowd of potatoes. He's ready for bed. Mom's
1
doing
a.m.
good. Dad's potatoed. So it's 1 a.m. Dad says. I think it's only 12:30. 12:42.
It's technically 1 a.m.
Whatever. Anyways, I'm really excited to have these cars now, to officially own them, to know where their home is gonna be and that it's not gonna disappear. So I have to give a thank you to MotorTrend. Like I said, it does suck that it's canceled. However, I did have a really, really good crew. I hear people talk all the time. People want to hear my story about how I had a terrible time there. And I'm like, I loved my crew. I loved being there. I loved the show. So I'm really thankful I had a really, really good run with MotorTrend, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I'm really excited to own these 3 cars. So anyways, there'll be plenty more coming. The projects obviously are abundant currently. So we're gonna head out, go to bed. Stay tuned though, because there's gonna be plenty more. As always, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time.
And here she goes. A beautiful little land speed car. I should probably be helping. Look at this.
Just take because it's stuck in the roof.
Cool.
Yep.
We are heading to Arkansas, people.
Let's go forward.
Oh, I'm doing something. More forward.
No, I'll go back.